At nang sa ganon, na alam natin, isa sa mga nasa inner cabinets ni GMA yan nung panahon nila. Meron po ba kayong nakikita dito na koneksyon ang dating Pangulo? Kasi so far, sa ngayon, hindi pa siya nababanggit, ano? Hindi pa nasasabi yung pangalan niya. Pero mukhang mga people identified with her during her administration. These are people who are high level. Hindi ito basta-basta mga kung sino lang eh. Chief of Staff, Secretary ng DNR, no? Mga operators ng dating Pangulo. Meron mo ba kayong natatanaw na ano? Na may possibly participation?
Alam naman ng lahat na ang kampo ni GMA at kampo ni Duterte ay magkaalyado. So, magkakasama yan. You can lump them all together. They have aligned interests. Marami pang personalities na
Si Dimon yung yung walang hiyang magnanakaw na si Gloria Dorobo pa lang. Ang nasa nasa likod ni Sara Dutae. Di ibig sabihin si Dorobong magnanakaw na si Gloria magnanakaw Dorobo, Gloria Arroyo ang nasa likod ni Sara Dutae. Na isa ring krong-krong ng taon yan si Gloria Dorobo. Galit na galit din si Susan Roses. Dahil 2 beses niyang na dinaya si Fernando Poe Jr. Yan pala yung demonyang animal na aling maliit na yan ang nasa likod ng kademonyo ni Sara Dutae. Yan pala yung niya, yung anghel de la demonyo niya, si Gloria Dorobo. Gloria magnanakaw.
i-mention ko sa iyo siguro off the record. Yun yung so far na mga lumalabas. Pero bottom line dito, ginagawa nila itong lahat, gumagastos sila dito ng malaki daang-daang milyon para mapatalsik ang Marcos administration at nang sa ganon, maproteksyonan na nila yung kanilang sarili.
Okay. Would you consider this you have stated your reasons kung bakit kumbinsido po kayo na ito ay destabilization. And as I said, you would be in the best position to really determine kung ang isang bagay ay destabilization o hindi.
Si Gloria Dorobo ang ang nasa likod ng destabilization kay Erap Estrada na gobyerno eh. Kaya pala ganyan ang hayop na animal na yan, matindi ang pag-iisip nila. Lahat 24/7 ang iniisip nila, siguro wala silang hanggang sa panaginip nila. Nag-iisip sila kung mga paraan para mapatalsik si PBBM, Kahit sa panaginip nila yung mga parang nananaginip sila na napatalsik na nila, ganun. Basta 24/7 sila. Wala silang pahinga sa pag-iisip ng paraan para mapatalsik si PBBM.
Sa tingin niyo ba this is a serious enough destabilization?
Compared to, base sa bilang ko siguro pang-6 o pang-7 na to na attempt ng Duterte camp na patalsikin ang Marcos administration. Maaring hindi na nararamdaman yan o hindi kasi overt as yung ginawa namin na talagang lantaran. Sa kanila, may mga plano to instigate a public outrage pero kinakapos. Yung military component hindi na napupunuan kasi none of these people are brave enough to recruit and eventually to go out the way we did. So, yun kasi ang pinakang base sa aking pagpupulong sa mga contacts ko sa military, ang issue sila unang-una, si Sara ang makikinabang. Si Sara, kung mapatalsik si President Marcos, si Sara ang uupo, si Sara pro-China. Yan yung deal breaker sa mga military. Pangalawa, ito, in so many conversations with military officers, alam nila si Sara may diferensya sa pag-iisip. I'm not, I'm not sugarcoating anymore.
Yeah.
I'm saying
May
it as it
topak
is.
si
Oo.
Sara.
Alam nila si Sara may diferensya sa
May topak.
pag-iisip.
Oo.
At kung siya magiging presidente ng Pilipinas, malalagay
Kawawa
sa
ang
kapahamakan
Pilipinas.
ang sambayanan.
Kaya
So,
nga.
yun yung mga deal breakers. Tapos, itong mga, another one, yung mga maka-Duterte na retired generals, yung mga ilalagaan nila noon,
Mm.
hindi rin gusto si Sara. Ang gusto nila, transition government. So, may mga ganong, internal dynamics.
You're talking of the likes of General Pokis.
Yan.
Yan,
Oo,
yan.
sila. Yung mga ganon, yung mga retired, gusto nila, kami na. Di ba? Hindi si Sara.
Hindi si Sara.
Kasi alam din nila yung kakulangan ni Sara.
Okay.
Di ba? So, pero sa mga active, two major issues. Si Sara maka-China at may diferensya sa pag-iisip.
Okay.
Yun.
So this is an inside view of
Yeah.
the thinking within the
Yes.
military circles,
Yes.
which is an essential component for the success
Successful,
or
yeah.
failure of a destabilization process.
Yes.
Actually, even from the point of view ng civil society, civil society groups, unfortunately, this issue of destabilization is one of the dividing factors doon sa hindi pagkakaisa ng pagkilos ng mga civil society groups. For example, yung church at saka yung mga pinklawan, ganyan, middle class, ayaw nila ng mga panawagan ng Marcos resign o kaya a transition government kasi sa tingin nila it will contribute to destabilization. In other words, they are sensitive to this issue of destabilization. On the other hand, the more militant groups, youth organizations, they go all out. Sa tingin ko, tama rin naman. Hold everyone accountable. But it does not take into consideration, at least into serious consideration, the issue of destabilization, which can create the condition for Sara Duterte to take power. No? Okay. This has been a very interesting discussion. But we need to go into Q&A kasi maraming mga kaibigan natin sa media at saka syempre yung mga fans mo na gustong marinig ang mga views mo sa itatanong ng ating mga kaibigan sa media. Please field your questions now. Give your questions.
Wells Ombudsman last week na parang inallege po niya si Ombudsman Remulla na nakipag-meet with ICC investigators. Can you confirm na nakipag-meet din po kayo with ICC investigators here in the Philippines and with then Justice Secretary Remulla, and if you can share po kung ano po yung napag-usapan niya. Thank you.
Ito po, inaamin ko, ever since na nakikipag-ugnayan ako sa ICC, since 2017 pa, nung sinampa namin yung kaso doon. Since 2017, tayo po ay nakikipag-ugnayan sa kanila, pagkalap ng testigo, pagkalap ng iba't ibang dokumento, at even pag-facilitate ng iba't ibang mga meeting. However, lahat ng operations na yan ay very confidential dahil lives are at stake. Pagka na-mention mo na ito naging ka-meeting, yung kung sino man yung tao na yon ay malalagay sa peligro. Hindi pwede sabihin kung kailan sila nandito, saan sila nag-i-stay, kasi yung mga panatiko ni Duterte at yung kanyang hit squad, ay pwede matuntun yon. Kaya, unfortunately, hindi ko madadivulge yan, pero I am ready to admit in general terms na nakikipag-ugnayan ako sa kanila. Hindi ko dinay yan, di ba? Pero yung sinasabi nila na nagkaroon ng meeting ng ganito with kung sino-sino para sa bigayan ng pera, hindi nangyari yan. Yun ang sinasabi ko. Yun po.
Follow-up na lang po, Senator. Yung discussion niyo po with then Secretary Remulla, Secretary Justice Remulla, can you discuss or can you divulge something?
Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to confirm or deny anything. Let's just give the benefit of the doubt kay Secretary Remulla. Ganun na lang po yun. Kasi iba yung kalagayan niya, iba yung kalagayan ko. So, in time, makikita nyo yan kung bakit, kung anong nuances. So, again, kahit gustuhin ko man na maging transparent na dito nagmi-meeting, ito yung mga kausap, di ba? Pero anong net effect nun? Magagamit yun ng kabilang kampo, matutuntun yung mga testigo na yon at kung saan man na nagmi-meeting yung mga ICC, malalagay sila sa peligro. So, hindi po talaga pwede.
Final na lang po, Senator. Na-discuss niyo po ba with ICC officials yung possible po na maprotektahan po yung mga witnesses po dito sa kaso po ng dating Pangulo sa ICC?
Isa yan sa mga prioridad ng ICC sa ating pakikipag-ugnayan kung paano maproteksyonan yung mga testigo. Ayan po.
The prosecutor who can file the case with the International Criminal Court. But at their stage of investigation and fact gathering, this is confidential. No? Hindi po ito pwedeng bigyan ng publicity Kasi it will also endanger the security and the lives of victims and witnesses. Ngayon, as a lawyer, I don't see why it becomes an issue kung makikipag-meeting sila with officials like the Secretary of Justice or a Senator of the Republic or somebody who is really following up this case and is personally known to them. Wala pong problema yun there is no rule or crime violated there or law that is violated there or a crime committed. Ang masama po dito sa nangyayari na nakikita ko, they are trying to project na corrupt ang ICC. Na yung prosecutor nila nalalagyan ng pera. These people have deranged minds kasi bakit nila iisipin yun? Ginagawa nila na yung kaya nilang gawin sa ilang mga corrupt na mga prosecutors natin dito at sa corrupt na husgado natin dito ay kaya nilang gawin doon sa ICC.
Yes.
And I think this is one of the things that deny them of their credibility. Kaya hindi makapaniwala ang mga taong bayan doon sa mga pinagsasabi nila Kasi paano mo, lalagyan mo yung mga prosecutor doon? These people have international careers. These people are accountable to their own countries, to their own governments, and to the higher authority of the International Court. Kaya, it is just humanly impossible na sabihin nila na nagkaroon ng...
Iyang kasing mga si Gloria Dorobo, si Sara Dutay, mga magnanakaw yan. Para sa kanila, lahat ay natatapalan ng pera. Lahat ay nabibili. Lahat ay may katapat na pera. So, ibig sabihin, ang Panginoon ng mga to pera. So, ang pinakikilos nila, yung kapangyarihan ng pera. So, para sa kanila, lahat ng bagay sa mundo ay may katapat na pera. Lahat ng bagay sa mundo nabibili. Walang bagay na hindi nabibili ang pera. Kasi yan ang Panginoon nila, pera Pera. Kaya magnanakaw nga, di ba? Yan ang si Gloria Dorobo ang reyna ng, kumbaga siya yung pinakamatandang reyna ng mga magnanakaw. Ayan si Sara, reyna din yan. Pangalawa kay Dorobo na si Gloria. So yan, dalawang reyna yan. Dalawang reyna ng impyerno na umahon dito sa mundo para magnakaw ng pera. Yan, si Gloria Dorobo at saka si Sara Dutay. Dalawang reyna na umahon sa impyerno para magnakaw. Kaya para sa mata nila, lahat ng bagay may katapat na pera. So, ibig sabihin, yung Panginoon nilang pera, yung pera kasi yung Panginoon nila, para sa kanila, kayang paggalawin o tapatan ng Panginoon nila ang lahat ng bagay dito sa mundo. Dahil para sa kanila, lahat ay nabibili under sa kapangyarihan ng pera.
Ang lagayan.
Yes.
Mr. Senator.
And let me just add, Attorney JB, ganito kasimple. Kung kaya kong suhulan yung ICC ng $2 million, Palagay nyo sila Duterte, magkano pwede nilang ibigay?
Correct.
Di ba? With his life on the line, magbabayad siya ng mga ganyan ng presyo per month lang ni Kaufman. Per month lang ni Kaufman. Hindi ba dapat bubuhusan niya yan dyan? Kung talaga nakukurap yan. And we know these Europeans, talagang stickler yung mga yan. Very, very professional. At yun na nga, dito mo na makikita na talagang iba ang intention nila. And let me just go to that point. Nakita nyo, kinakanal nila, nag-confirm si ombudsman ng meeting, ganito. Therefore, totoo yung 2 million? Hindi, that's a stretch. Even assuming totoo yung mga meetings yan. Sabi ko nga, I'm ready to concede. Kung sino man yung dun sa 80 na yan, kung 2-3 dyan, nagbantay sila ng ICC, I'm ready to concede. Sige, totoo nagbantay kayo. Nakita nyo kung saang hotel, nakita nyo kung saang meeting, kung ano-ano. Pero, walang krimen doon. Ang problema dito sa kiniklaim nyo na nagbigay kayo ng pera sa akin para panuhol sa ICC. Dalawa yun eh. Ginagano nila eh. Di ba? Kasi, and again, you have to understand, talagang very, very confidential yan. At sasabihin, sinabi ni Baligot, paanong yung investigation, tapos na. Hindi. Kasi may mga co-perpetrators pa na eventually mai-issuehan din ng warrant. So, iba to. Kumaga, it's a different field altogether. There is a time to speak out about certain things, and there is a time to keep everything under wraps. Yun ang dahilan kung bakit nabulaga si Duterte ng warrant, di ba? Kasi talagang very, very confidential yung operations. Yeah.
Another question.
Pilipinas, in terms of corruption and abuses, kapag si Sarang maupo sa bansa,
Alam niyo po, yan yung palagi kong inilalabas po. No? I want everybody to imagine and visualize a Sara Duterte presidency. Kung ano yung naging sistema noon, pasok yung mga pogo, yung West Philippine Sea, pababayaan sa China, papasok dito yung illegal na droga. Toneto na lada, pumasok noon.
I swear I wouldn't survive a day without this product.
So we want to know, how do you
Tapos, patayan, muli, yung media, iaharas pagka magbigay ka ng negative na article, ipe-pressure yung mga may-ari na insider sesantihin ka o patahimikin ka. Tapos, ano pa ba? Yung civil society, tinatakot. Ganyan lahat yan, babalik yan.
Papasok na
Nakita
naman
niyo
lahat
yung
ng
video
kalimutan.
ni Sara. Nakita niyo na pupugutan niya yung ulo ng presidente. Nag-hire siya ng assassin. Imagine niyo kung hawak niyan yung presidential powers. Dapat kilabutan ka. At isa pa lang yun. Under a Sara Duterte presidency, ang Speaker of the House niyan, si Pulong. Nakita niyo yung video ni Pulong na nagsasaksak ng bugaw? Gagawin yung Speaker of the House yan. O ngayon, si
Nasaksak
Baste.
ng bugaw.
Nakita niyo naman si Baste. Pabanjing-banjing lang. Cabinet, ano yan? Secretary yan. Malamang DILG. Tapos, sunod-sunod na yan. 2034, si Pulong na yung presidente mo. 2040, Baste na yung presidente mo. 2046, baka si Kitty na. So, yan yun. Kaya nga, itong impeachment ay pagkakataon ito na makilala ng mga Pilipino kung sino ba talaga si Sara Duterte. Pag nakita nila yung bilyon-bilyon na pera ng mga nila Sara at ni Mans Carpio, tapos makikita nila yung cheque na ibinibigay sa kanila ng isang drug lord while she was mayor, no? 2011 to 2013. Manager's check kasi ito ang pangalan sa kanya. So, every 6 months, binibigyan sila ng dividendo bawat miyembro ng pamilya. Ito mga to, nakalap na namin to since 2016. Sinasabi na namin sa mga Pilipino, na humaling sila dun sa kay Duterte, sinubukan nila. Ayun, nagka-leche-leche yung buhay ng Pilipinas. And hindi ko
Pag si Sara ang nakaupo bilang presidente natin sa 2028, magiging katulad na tayo ng Mexico. O kartel na ang mangingibabaw sa atin. Wala nang kapangyarihan ang totoong gobyerno kasi kartel na. Illegal na droga na ang mangingibabaw sa atin. So magiging bagsakan na tayo ng iba't ibang uri ng illegal na droga dito. Magiging port. Magiging port tayo. Yung yung pantalan ng mga bagsakan ng mga illegal na droga sa buong mundo. Kasi dito na kukunin, dito na ibabagsak lahat ng uri ng illegal na kargamento ng komunistang China papunta sa Mexico, papunta sa Canada, at sa iba't ibang parte ng mundo. Kikilalanin tayo sa mundo na, dito sa buong mundo na tayo yung kapital ng mga illegal na droga sa buong mundo. Tayo na yung magiging international port, international na pantalan ng mga bagsakan ng illegal na droga sa buong mundo.
pala na-mention yung pagbagsak ng ekonomiya ng ating bansa. Binigay ni Pinoy yung Pilipinas in a very good economic shape. May surplus pa ng 1 trillion pesos. Pagdating ni Duterte, binangkarote niya. 'Di ba? Kasi kaliwat kanan na corruption yung nangyari noon. So, ito ang kakaharapin ng ating bansa kung sila ang maupo. Ito.
And additional lang po, tanong ko lang po, kasi parang halos nagkakapareho kayo ng point ni dating Senator Laila de Lima. May coordination pa rin po ba kayo hanggang ngayon?
Opo. We are regularly in touch. In fact, pinasabihan na po ako since magiging parte siya ng impeachment hearings na nangyari, pinasabihan na po ako na mag-a-appear po ako doon as a witness to present itong bank accounts issue. Ito. Thank you.
No, this is going to be a very colorful impeachment proceeding if we see Senator Trillanes appearing. Doon pa lang ba sa House, Senator, nandoon? Patatawag ka na? Okay. But of course, in the House, it's only a determination of probable cause. So, hindi pa naman kailangan ilahad-lahat ng ebidensya doon eh. Doon sa House, ang quantum of evidence lang na kailangan, probably ginawa ba nung respondent, in this case the Vice President, yung ibinibintang sa kanya. Kasi kung may probable cause na, aakit na yun sa Senado upon a vote of 1/3 of the membership of the entire House. Ngayon, doon sa Senate, I think that is where the live coverage of the impeachment trial will proceed, no? And we're looking forward to seeing you there also, Mr. Senator, as a witness to give out all the details about the respondent. Yes, sir.
Former Senator, magandang umaga. Isaiah Mirapuentes ng Abante and Billionario. Sir, question lang, may nabanggit kayo kanina na si Sara may diferensya sa pag-iisip kung sakaling malalagay sa kapahamakan ng Pilipinas. It is, sir, a literal parang sinasabihan natin si VP Sara na may diferensya sa pag-iisip o is something like an analogy lang?
Yun po ang assessment ng mga military officers na nakakaugnayan ko. Na fearful, kaya ayaw nilang makialam dito sa mga panawagan na pumasok sila at patalsikin si President Marcos. Hindi lang dahil sa tapat sila sa kanilang tungkulin at sa konstitusyon, kundi fearful sila na pagka ang naupo si Sara, unang-una, magiging pro-China ulit yung Pilipinas. At alam nila yung nangyari nung panahon ni Duterte. Pangalawa, alam nila, nararamdaman nila na may diferensya sa pag-iisip si Sara. Nakita nila yan, the way she acts, yung demeanor niya, public demeanor, plus yung dalawang videos niya na gigil siya na gusto niyang pugutan ng ulo si President Marcos. 'Di ba nag-muestra pa siya ng parang nilalagari yung leeg. Hindi ginagawa yan I think wala dito sa kwarto na to ang maggagawa niyan Lalo na in a public interview. Tapos yung live stream niya, yung naalala niyo yung black yung background na doon lang yung screen, di ba? Na talagang nag-contract siya ng assassin against the president. Papatayin niya. Ngayon, tinitrivialize nila yun na yun na nga, doon na nga napahamak si Suntay, Congressman Suntay.
Pahamak kasi
Ito, ang diferensya niyan dun sa pantasya ni Suntay, ito, presidente ito ng Pilipinas. Na-imagine nyo ba kung gagawin yan kay Trump? Di ba? Ora mismo, habang sinasabi mo yun, dadamputin ka na. Dito, nagkaroon lang ng pause. Pero, that was a crime while she was saying it, na nag-contract ka ng assassin. Whether it was conditional or not, it was against the political leadership of the Philippines. Kasi President, First Lady, and the Speaker. Ano yan? Nakalagay yan sa anti-terror law,
ginagawa yan ni Sara noon. Halata namang nakadroga eh. Halatang high na high si Sara nung ginagawa niya yan. Palagay ko, hindi lang siguro may tama sa utak, kundi talagang addict tong si Sara. Nakadroga siya eh. High na high siya nun eh. Ginagawa niya yan. Nakadroga, promise. Nakadroga siya niyan nang ginagawa niya yan. May background niya itim. Tapos sabi niya, no joke, no joke. Talagang may hinahir na ako na assassin. Na pag ginalaw ako, papatayin sila. O di ba ibig sabihin, nakadroga siya niyan. O parang, hindi siguro nakadroga. Parang matindi lang yung galit niya talaga. Yung parang, nasaniban na siya ng masamang espiritu. Parang wala na siya sa sarili niya. Talagang, tama, krong-krong talaga. May tama utak. Parang may tama utak niya na ginagawa niya yan. Biruin mo in public. Naka-video siya. Ginagawa niya in public. May tama utak niyan talaga. Wala na siya sa sarili niya nang ginagawa niya yan. Baliw
Kung
na.
hindi lang nagpigil siguro si President Marcos, dapat ora mismo dinampot na yan siya. Anyway, bottom line, she is unfit to hold public office, and more so, she is unfit to be president of the country. Yan na yung assessment ng iba't ibang mga military officials na nakausap ko.
How about your assessment, sir? I mean, are you able to say na meron talaga something si VP Sara?
Oo, talaga? What's the term dyan? Krung-krung. Di ba? So, ako, sabi ko nga, hindi naman ako psychologist, hindi naman ako, but alam natin when we see somebody na may diferensya. Di ba? Ako hindi ko i-risk ito, nabibigyan ko to ng powers ng presidency. Iba to. Grabe yung temper. Nakita mo yung demeanor niya sa house. Yung may nagsasalitang congressman ginawa niya yung talk to the hand. Ginanon niya yung congressman. Ano yun? Di ba? Parang bata. Di ba? Tapos biglang puputok, magagalit. Yung ginawa niya doon sa sheriff. Susuntukin niya. Di ba? May anger management issue siya at the very least. So yan po yun.
Alright, thank you, sir. Sir, regarding naman with the impeachment complaints against the Vice President, maraming mga congressman ngayon na nagsasabi na nakahanda na raw sila para sa 2028 elections, kaya posibleng hindi na daw umusad sa plenaryo itong impeachment complaint. Based on your observation, sir, sa tingin nyo ba uusad to sa Senado o matitengka na lang?
Ito po ang attitude namin dito sa impeachment case ni Sara Duterte. We will take it one step at a time. We filed it, na-refer, diniscuss sa committee, sufficient in form, sufficient in substance. This is where we are. So milestone ito. Ano yung next presentation of evidence? Ako, I'm confident once makita nung mga congressmen at nung taong bayan yung ebidensya na ilalabas namin, hindi lang itong sa bank accounts, pati yung iba pa sa confidential funds, etc. mape-persuade yung taong bayan na hindi siya talaga karapat-dapat na manatili as Vice President. So pagka nakuha yung public opinion, makukuha yung representative ng taong bayan, sila na ngayon ang magboboto pataas. So we will take it one step at a time. Yun na lang masasabi ko.
Regarding sir with the former president, inamin nyo kanina na isa po kayo sa nagkakalap ng mga ebidensya para mas mapabigat yung kaso niya. How about with the vice president? Kumakausap ba kayo sir ng mga congressman? Isa rin ba kayo sa naghahanap ng mga evidences para mas lalong madiin si VP Sara?
Hindi na po kailangan maghanap na nakuha na namin. Doon sa Quadcom last year, nakuha yun sa confidential funds. Doon sa bank accounts, nakuha ko na yan as early as 2016. So, ano na ito? It's just a matter of presenting it. Kasi they have been suppressing it eh. Pinipigil na ito noong pa eh. Di ba? Pupukpukin na nga ako ng microphone ni Digong para lang maiba yung usapan. Kasi doon pa lang, sige, pirmahan mo yung waiver, pakita mo. Kasi noong inakusahan niya ako ni Duterte na meron akong foreign bank accounts, pumirma ako ng waiver at dinala ko pa yung media sa Singapore to prove na hindi. Narinig mismo ng mga reporter yon na wala akong accounts doon. Tapos, napaamin si Duterte noon. Umamin siya na inimbento lang niya sa akin. Ganun ang ginawa niya sa akin. Pero ngayon, nung siya na, namimilipit na, kailangan gumawa ng eksena para maiba yung usapan. Yun lang po yun.
Senator, last na lang. Regarding with the 2028 election, are you in favor if ever man mag-collab ang opposition in the Marcos administration just to defeat the Vice President?
Yan po actually ang aking isang tinutulak na magsanib puwersa ang middle forces na tinatawag ko at yung administrasyon para maging head-to-head yung laban kagaya noong 1986. Isang Duterte candidate, isang unity candidate. Pagka ganyan, hindi mananalo si Sara Duterte.
Tired of messy, hard-to-reach fridge items? Dream
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Ay, banggitin ko lang yung isa pang indisyo of mental disorder. Ano? Hindi nabanggit ni Senator. Yung huhukayin niya yung labi ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos at itatapon niya sa West Philippine Sea. I mean, no sane person will ever say that. Di ba? At saka just listen to Montulfo. Kasi Montulfo does not belong to the camp of Senator Trillanes. Pero listen to him. Mas grabe pa yung sinasabi niya na talagang may sira sa ulo. You know, saying that a person has a mental defect, no? If backed up by an allegation of malice, is already libelous. Pero wala siyang kinakasuhan ng libel, di ba? She lets it go. Pero yung mga pinagsasasabi niya, these are matters that go into the very mind of a public official, which makes him or her unfit to hold public office. Kaya we welcome this impeachment proceedings. Yes, sir.
Nako sir, binigyan nyo na idea si Sara na magsampa ng libel dun sa pagtawag sa kanya na...
Mabuti para mapatunayan.
Okay. Anyway, ito yung question ko, Senator. No? Binanggit nyo kanina na pinag-aaralan nyo pa po yung pagsasampa ng additional na mga cases laban dito dun kay Attorney Levy Baligod at saka okay. Attorney Levy Baligod at saka dun sa mga 18 ex-soldiers at dun sa iba pang mga personalities, mga kailan ho to at mga ilang kaso pa at ano pa mga partikular na kaso pa. Sabi nyo, may mga counts ng cyber libel, mga gaano karami pa yung isasampa ninyo na reklamo?
Yan po yung pinag-aaralan ngayon ng mga abogado kasi apparently maraming ano pala ito, beses nilang sinabi yung kanilang mga allegations sa iba't ibang forum. Ngayon, pati yung iba, tuloy-tuloy pa rin, yung ibang social media personalities. So siguro sabihin natin isang round pa ng multiple cases na ipa-file. At habang hindi sila tumitigil, di pa-file lang kami ng magpa-file. At these things will be treated differently. So ibang count yan per utterance. Yes.
So, sa mga darating na araw, so ito yung makikita natin, Senator.
Yes, pagka natapos na yung draft, reviewin ko, then we will file it and we will inform you accordingly.
Last question, Senator. No? Kahapon, nabanggit nyo na kanina, lumutang itong si dating AFP Chief Hermogenes Esperon dun sa press conference itong mga dating sundalo. Ano yung tingin nyo na possibility? Kasi ang parang dating AFP Chief, dating National Security Advisor, pagkatapos mga dating sundalo, nagsama-sama sa isang activity. Ano yung nakikita nyo rito, Senator?
Ito na nga. Dito mo makikita yung fingerprints kung sino ba yung mga nasa likod nito by association. Yun nga, si General Esperon, kanino ba nakadikit yan. Tapos, yung parang satel na panghikayat na may vouch binavouch siya nito ni General Esperon para in a way, mahikayat yung iba to follow suit. Yun na nga yun. It betrays their real intention. Hindi ito ordinary expose lang. Kundi talagang nais silang ipatalsik yung Marcos administration. Yun po yun.
Thank you, sir.
Unexplained wealth and failure to disclose all her properties and interests in properties in her SALN. That is under paragraphs 107 to 109. When she served as vice mayor and mayor of Davao City with an estimated annual salary of approximately 2 million, her declared net worth increased from 13,877,469 in 2007 to 44,828,759 in 2017, paragraph 108. It is further alleged that between 2006 and 2015, she had at least 111 million deposited in various banks in Davao City and Metro Manila, with reports suggesting even higher amounts. So the complaint pleads Section 2 of Republic Act 1379, establishing that property manifestly out of proportion to lawful income is presumed prima facie and lawfully acquired. Under paragraph 286, the complaint cites the case of heirs of Ligot versus Republic, pleading the elements required for the presumption to apply, that the properly manifesting out of proportion a property or assets that are manifestly out of proportion to lawful income is presumed prima facie and lawfully acquired. The complaint pleads that all elements are present. If admitted as true, these facts implicate SALN obligations under Section 17, Article 11 of the Constitution and constitute betrayal of public trust. ng Constitution. Ang SALN ay isang sinumpaang deklarasyon. On betrayal of public trust, ang SALN ang pangunahing instrumento kung saan sinusukat ang katapatan at pananagutan ng isang opisyal. An unexplained wealth, particularly when coupled with alleged non-disclosure in a sworn constitutional document, the SALN strikes directly at the integrity expected of high public office. It erodes confidence in the official's honesty. That is precisely the kind of conduct contemplated under betrayal of public trust. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Honorable Flores.
Madam Chair, may I know from the endorser if would these allegations not be in contravention with the Supreme Court resolution or decision in the case of Sara Duterte versus House of Representatives, when it said that we should only be including allegations for impeachment for actions done while she is holding an impeachable office. From the statements kasi that were given, the SALN she was referring to was in 2007 to 2017, way before the Vice President, she became Vice President. No? Secondly po, na-mention din po ng endorser nung bank deposits, but these were just allegations, no? Walang sinabi na may proof na may bank deposits of this and that, no? Ang worry ko po dito is this might be compared with the previous how we handled the previous complaint against the President Bongbong Marcos that we dismissed it because it did not sufficiently have any substance because it was also purely speculations and allegations. May we hear from the endorser on this matter, Madam Chair?
Honorable De Lima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, it is true that in the Duterte versus House of Representatives case, the Supreme Court stated that the offenses to be impeachable must be committed during the incumbency of the impeachable official. We submit, however, that this does not mean that we cannot include acts that were committed prior to the incumbency of the official, here the Vice President. We can do that so long as we prove that, A, they are relevant to the charge that she also accumulated ill-gotten after she was elected as Vice President, based on Rule 128 of the Rules of Court, Sections 3 and 4. Evidence is admissible when it is relevant to the issue, as is not excluded by law or these rules. They're offered to prove. They will be offered to prove a system, scheme, habit, custom, or usage, and the like, based on Rule 128 of the Rules of Court, Section 35. Evidence, it says, Section 35, similar acts as evidence. Evidence that one did or did not do a certain thing at a time is not admissible to prove that he or she did not or did not do the same or similar thing at another time. But it may be received to prove a specific intent or knowledge, identity, plan, system, scheme, habit, custom, or usage, and the like. And this is what we will prove during the evidentiary stage. That the Vice President accumulated even more ill-gotten wealth after she was elected as Vice President, and that accumulating ill-gotten wealth is part of her system, scheme, habit, or custom as a public official. Also, presentation of the SALNs while she was still a mayor and vice mayor are relevant to show the contrast between her income and assets before and after she became Vice President. And again, we're talking here about fitness of the respondent to continue holding office as a public official. So hindi po yan, yes, there is that Supreme Court ruling, pero hindi po ibig sabihin na hindi na natin pwedeng i-consider. As I mentioned earlier po, we intend to apply for subpoena for the production of these SALNs from her incumbency as mayor and vice mayor and all through her incumbency as vice president. Mga bank accounts din, ganun din po. We will ask for subpoena also from AMLAC, from the Office of the Ombudsman. And then para ho ma-prove, makita na yung pag-accumulate ng ill-gotten wealth which is grossly disproportionate to her lawful income ay nandyan, kasama yan sa kanyang pattern, kasama yan sa kanyang style or character as a public official. Again, we're talking here about fitness to remain in office as Vice President related to previous acts as well as something or things that are continuing. Makikita po natin yan dun sa mga ipapasabpina ng mga dokumento as well as supported by testimonial evidence. Dati na rin po nag-testify noon former Senator Sonny Trillanes about the flow of these transactions. And again, those are part of the records of the Quadcom committee hearings. that can be taken judicial notice that can be taken cognizance of as part of the House's records. So ito po ang explanation kung bakit pwede pa kahit ang nakasaad lang, nakasabi lang ay tungkol doon sa accumulation of ill-gotten wealth not duly reflected or properly reflected in the SALNs nung siya ay mayor and vice mayor. Part of the issue of fitness of a public official.
Madam Chair.
Honorable De Lima, are you finished with your
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Madam
manifestation?
Chair.
The Honorable Flores.
Madam Chair, siguro for us to show na may connection po, shouldn't there be like allegations also that the SALN that she submitted while she was Vice President can be linked to the siguro non-disclosures in the SALNs when she was Vice Mayor? Kasi you're saying that we should show pattern, scheme, or res inter rels acta ba yun na rule or something, na para may pakita natin na may pattern. Pero for me po, for us to avoid being siguro masabit tayo sa contravening the decisions of the Supreme Court, dapat clearly po natin mapakita na may connection yung alleged actions niya when she was Vice Mayor to actions as Vice President po. Second, again, we keep mentioning po the intention to apply for subpoenas, to check the bank records. So are we saying po na wala pa tayong ebidensya on these aspects? Kasi you mentioned you intend to apply pa lang po for these things.
Mga nabanggit na po yan sa
Nabanggit
mga
na.
dating mga hearings
By-
sa
by-
Quadcom by the
Quadcom.
former Senator Antonio Trillanes. At he would be willing to execute an affidavit in that regard and also to testify before this committee. At meron din po tayong mga ipapaproduce sa AMLAC, sa Ombudsman, and sa bangko, yung mga sa bank accounts, the bank transactions of the Vice President, beginning when she was still Mayor, Vice Mayor, and all the way through her current incumbency as Vice President.
Did you know that I got
As Vice President.
For the purpose of this fifth ground, Honorable De Lima, can you please share to the committee what so far are your evidence or attachments to the impeachment complaint? For the purpose of the fifth ground.
There are no attachments so far to this complaint because as I mentioned, the complainants will intend to prove this through those documents that will be the subject of the subpoena that we will request in due time.
Earlier, you made mention about former Senator Sonny Trillanes. And was this part or is this part of your allegation of facts in your impeachment complaint?
Yes, I believe so.
So there's a specific reference in the impeachment complaint with regards to the testimony of former Senator Sonny Trillanes during the hearing of the Good Government Committee.
We'll check, Madam Chair, but that is my
Yes,
recollection.
please. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Rodriguez.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
107.
The ground 4 is on page 95 of the complaint. And
We are on the fifth ground.
fifth ground is page 95 that the Vice President committed culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayed the public trust in amassing unexplained wealth and failing to disclose all their properties. Madam Chair, from paragraph 285 to 290 are conclusions of law citing the law itself on unexplained wealth and also decisions of the Supreme Court. So let's go back to the statement of facts. The statement of facts, Madam Chair,
109.
is found on page 46. So this is entitled E, Facts in Relation to Vice President Sara's Unexplained Wealth and Failure to Disclose all her properties and interests in properties in her SALN. We must remember that the Constitution says impeachment of the Vice President. And the Supreme Court ruled in Duterte versus House that those acts complained of for impeachment purposes should be acts committed at the time that he's holding that impeachable office. So therefore, paragraph 107, VP Sara served as Vice Mayor of Davao City between 2007 2010, then served as Mayor 2010 to 2022. Clearly, this is not within the Vice Presidency of Sara Duterte. So this allegation does not give substance to an offense committed by the Vice President. 108 is a listing of SALNs, which are from 2007, 2017. The Vice President started to discharge her functions as Vice President in 2022. So clearly, 108 does not give substance to the offense charge. And lastly, there are only 3 paragraphs here in the statement of facts. Nothing, no recital of facts in the grounds on the page 95 to 96. So here, number 109, more. Between 2006 and 2015, VP SAR had at least 111 million deposited in different banks in Davao City and Metro Manila. Again, nothing here pertains to the office of the Vice President, the acts of the Vice President of enriching herself as Vice President. Clearly, we cannot go to the future and say that in the future we can have, if there's a hearing, that they're going to fish for more evidence. Because we are deciding based on the recital of facts in the complaint. And it will never be taken up because they are not in the complaint. And the Vice President will be asked to answer those that are her own actuations and acts as Vice President. So clearly, Madam Chair, clearly, Article...
Ito na naman si Rufus Rodriguez. Sinasabi na naman niya na yung mga gawa daw ni Sara as mayor, hindi daw nagko-complement sa mga gawa niya as Vice President. Kalokohan. Isang tao lang yan eh. Yung ginawa niya nung mayor pa siya at yung ginagawa niya ngayon as president, may collaboration. Mayroong pagkakaisa dahil iisang tao lang yung gumawa. O come on, Rufus Rodriguez, kahit sabihin mo pa yung ginawa niya noong bagong silang siya, kalalabas lang niya sa poki ng nanay niya, gawa niya pa rin yun, kasi siya pa rin yun. Kahit gaano pa katao ng itinagal, o kahit way back pa, nung kanyang kaliit-liitan niya pa, or sanggol pa siya as infant, gawa niya pa rin yun. Nakasulat pa rin yun sa kanyang pangalan, Sara Duterte. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga ginawa niya sa previous niya, bilang vice mayor or mayor, gawa niya pa rin yun. Determine pa rin yun sa kanya kasi siya pa rin yun. Hindi naman ibang tao yung gumawa nun eh. Rufus? Kung mo ba ginawa niya yun nung mayor siya eh? Sasabihin mo hindi na siya under doon sa pagiging vice niya. Isa pa lang naman, siya pa rin yun eh. Siya pa rin yun. Alam ba naman nung naupo siya ng mayor ibang tao ba yung gumawa nun? Bilang mayor ng Davao? Ibang tao ba yung naupo bilang mayor? Hindi naman Siya pa rin naman yun Si Sara Duterte pa rin yung umupo na yun bilang mayor or vice mayor ng Davao. Kaya kasama pa rin yan sa kanyang impeachment. Kasi siya naman talaga yung gumawa nun. Hindi namang ibang tao. Ito talaga si Rufus Rodriguez. Parang akala mo manananggal o DID. Maraming katauhan si Sara. Ano yun? Na paghihiwalay ba yung katauhan niya? Hindi naman siya pa rin naman yun Isang katauhan lang yun Kupal.
Devoid of any substance against the Vice President because all the acts stated, which is 107 to 109, pertains when she was Vice Mayor and Mayor. So this has to fail.
Don't eat that. These are
Passing unexplained wealth, and the other is the failure to disclose in the SALN. So, in relation to the Supreme Court decision, there might be an issue with respect to the first act, but if the failure to disclose in the SALN continues even to the time that she is already the Vice President, I think this will make a difference. The Honorable Suntay.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. SALN violations require identification of specific undisclosed assets. The complaint does not identify any particular property or financial account which was omitted from the declaration. Without identifying the undisclosed assets, the allegation cannot establish falsity. We cannot also jump into a conclusion that what she owns is unexplained wealth without showing any proof. And as correctly pointed out by my two distinguished colleagues, the Vice Chairperson of this committee, Congressman Flores, and my esteemed former Dean of the College of San Sebastian Law School, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, actions to impeach the Vice President, it should be actions which is attributable to her during her term as Vice President. The non-declaration in her SALN in 2006 to 2015 clearly shows that these are SALNs when she was neither nor the Vice President, the sitting Vice President. Now, as also pointed out by our good colleague, Congresswoman Laila De Lima, wala pa silang proof. Papasupina pa lang. At the very most, this is a fishing expedition kung maghahanap pa lang tayo ng proof. Kung ang gagawin natin basihan, yung statements ni former Senator Sani Trillanes, then it is chismis and at very best, hearsay. Because it was already...
O come on, sinabi na nga ni Sani Trillanes meron na silang nakuhang ebidensya laban dyan kay Sara. Pagdating dyan sa kanyang bank secrecy at saka sa kanyang SALN. 2016 pa lang, nakuha na nila. Kaya nga sabi ni Trillanes, narito siya para sa presentation na lang. Nakahanda na lahat yan. O come on, sasabihin mo, wala, magbubungkal pa. O come on. Sinabi na ni Trillanes, meron na, tapos na, ipipresent na lang. It's a matter of presentation. O yun na lang sinabi niya Ibig sabihin, nakahanda na lahat ang kanyang mga ebidensya laban dyan. O suntay na babaerong Mr. Imagination na ewan.
It happened before. So, clearly, on this ground, there is clearly no basis, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
I just wish to reiterate that earlier the endorser made mention of the allegations in the impeachment complaint that pertains to the testimony of former Senator Sani Trillanes, which is contained in the transcript of record of the hearing of the Good Government Committee. That is for the record. The Honorable De Lima.
Yes, Madam Chair, we confirm that there is a reference to the former Senator Trillanes in the footnote under the allegation, factual allegation under paragraph 108.
Just for the record, Honorable De Lima, so is it correct to say that you are considering the transcript as evidence in support of the fifth ground?
Transcripts, because there was such a testimony. So it's not accurate to say that magkakaroon tayo ng fishing expedition because it was already mentioned in a previous testimony. And all we have to do is prove now, further prove it. Doon nga po, sasabi kong ipapasubmina po namin in due time, SALN's bank accounts, and also from AMLAC, information from AMLAC, and that would be within the province of this committee to so issue such subpoena. So continuing nga po, tama po si Madam Chair kanina, yung na aspect ng non-declaration in the SALN. As Vice President, pwede pong i-connect din yan all these years na hindi siya nagdi-disclose ng mga wealth na grossly disproportionate to her lawful income and other sources of income. So yun po ang balak.
Sabi 88 million pero nagbabayad sila